Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Skiff Guard, aka Lando Calrissian Undercover, and how he's gonna kind of interact with the rest of the game. And we're not going to go through and do every single little bit of his kit. We'll do a little bit of it, but at the same time, I want to look at some more, I feel like, are interesting hints about future content that is to come. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. The developer insights, they offer a few things that are kind of cool outside of the kit. I think probably the most notable is the fact that they said he's going to be one of the first of probably many characters for Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary celebration. So that's kind of cool. I don't really know of any other characters that they've already announced or that kind of were around that could be a part of that. The first one that comes to mind, obviously besides Jabba, is gonna be, I don't know how to pronounce the name correctly, but Boushh, aka Undercover Leia. And I think that's probably gonna fill the last role for Jabba the Hutt's team and be the last requirement as well for Jabba. I really don't know how I feel. Like the Skiff Guard it's okay. I don't hate this. I mean, it's, you know, take Lando out of this, and that's actually a pretty normal character to be with the Hutt cartel and on Galactic Legend Jabba's team. But at the same time, I would much rather like complete dark side Bib Fortuna, that whole thing going on, rather than having half the Galactic Legend side be light side. Although now that I think about it, the fact that he's not being done in pairs and he's really focusing on the smuggler and the bounty hunter factions, it does kind of make sense for Jabba to, neutral isn't the right word because he will be dark side, but to have a mixed faction Galactic Legend. That honestly, they did a pretty good job about not telling us that up front. I mean, they did tell us up front that he's not going to be a part of a pair, but I think this is why. Because half the team is going to be light side and dark side. I guess that really only has like major issues with territory battles, assuming we don't get a neutral one. Maybe we do. But Datacrons are really easy, I think, to work around. We're currently seeing with the Mandalorians, they have a mixed one for level 5, and it applies to all of them. So if they do want to give Jabba a Datacron, they just have to give a super boost to Hutt Cartel and not really worry about the level 3s, and everything should be fine. But yeah, that being said, I think it's more so from a lore standpoint. I think this was a kind of a missed opportunity for Jabba's team to make it have such a heavy, essentially rebel emphasis. Like, I know they don't have rebel in their kit, but I would have liked to have seen other dark side users. I don't think Jabba, I guess Maul and Starkiller, no, actually does fit it really well, but like Maul doesn't fit really a team that should be mixed either, and he does, and it functions. So there is that. All right, so now to some of the other callouts. We mentioned the fact that he's going to be the first of the Return of the Jedi. That's pretty cool. One of the other callouts I think we see in his kit all over the place is there is a ton of defense penetration. He has it in his first ability. He has it in his second ability. I believe he has it even in his third ability. Oh, so defense up, actually, so kind of the other way around. Oh, and this is another thing that not nothing to do with defense penetration, but they've already designed in his kit, and we know they're going to want to work with Hutt Cartel, a way to boost light side allies, which really makes me think that the final fifth character, really the final third marquee character and the final character for Jabba's team is going to be Boushh, because that, I mean, I guess they can plan it that way. I mean, Kyle Katarna's anti-Sith synergy and CG really didn't plan for that, but this really kind of seems up that alley. But yeah, so he's got a bunch of defense penetration as well and is unique. And all this defense penetration really makes me think that he's gonna be some type of counter for JMK. And this is bolstered a little by the fact that we got Chrysanthemum, who we also know is gonna be on the Hutt Cartel team, that has a way around Cat's insta-kill. He has a revive that he'll be able to come back right away from. And then there's all this defense penetration. And Lando also has max health damage, which is also very, very good for taking down JMK, because they have tons of extra health from Cat. She gives a 50% health boost and a 50% defense boost to the whole team. That's really just dependent on her being alive. So when I see mechanics like this, I think that's really what they're going after. One of the other things they had in also he gives bonus turns. Bonus turns is also a way around JMK. JMK doesn't allow for any turn meter gain for the enemy team, or really even for his own team. So bonus turns are the only way really around that if you're trying to get your team more turns. And this is this is starting to like all come together and make sense to me with as far as Grand Inquisitor goes. The fact that they specifically made him a counter to JML and TW and like a very soft counter to JMK. It almost seems like the reason why they dialed back so much in Grand Inquisitor, maybe not even dial back, but just didn't make him the JMK counter, because it's really coming off like Jabba is supposed to be that counter. And if you really want to push people into buying, you know, new marquee characters, going after other high relics, you couldn't give people the free JM counter with Grand Inquisitor. So I think that's really what they're trying to do here. That being said, I don't know how I feel about it. I would have rather a much more Jabba team. One thing I will say about his kit, it does not look as heavily tied to the Hutt cartel as the as Chrysanthemum did. Chrysanthemum honestly kind of looks borderline useless in a typical bounty hunter team. Like all the really cool things he does, like his, you know, quasi permatant or whatever it is, or quasi, sorry, that was Portuguese. All seem to be built off of being on the Hutt cartel, where a lot of Lando's kit seems to be pretty versatile, that he can do almost everything to anyone else. I think the only thing that is going to become an issue is the Hutt cartel tag he has for this one specific ability here. But for the most part, it seems to allow him to do other things. One other takeaway, and I think this is good news, and I might just be reading into this, but I think that this is kind of confirmation that Jabba is not going to have any Omicrons. What we've seen so far is Chrysanthemum has an Omicron for GAC, which is pretty cool. Now, this is the second requirement, and they have an Omicron for Territory Wars, which really, really makes me think when we get Bausch, she is going to have a Omicron that is going to be for either TB or Conquest. And what they're going to do is they're going to make Jabba good in all game modes, but each one of the characters are going to be kind of highlighted within a specific game mode, which is, maybe I'm reading into this because that's what I really want to happen. I do not want to have to put 6 Omicrons or 3 Omicrons or any Omicrons really on a Galactic Legend. A Galactic Legend should be good in every single game mode. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find the comment here real quickly, but they did mention that there are, here it is. He's the second of the 3 new marquee characters. So we didn't really have confirmation if we were going to get all of them. We didn't really have confirmation if we were going to get 3 or 4. They just said several. He's at R5, so I guess that's kind of nice. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm always excited to get new characters into the game, but this really isn't what I had envisioned for the Jabba team. And I also think this is pretty hard confirmation that we're not getting Hondo, at least not for a lot longer than we've already kind of been asking. And that's, I know that CG has to do things in their own time and whatnot, but I feel like this was a missed opportunity where they could have brought him in and could have made him a part of a really good team. And instead they're going with light side characters. But yeah, is what it is, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about if Bausch really is confirmed to be for the last marquee character, what you guys think about the mixing light side and stuff like that. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Until the next time, remember to like and subscribe, and stay awesome.